Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday Vlog, where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, pop culture, social media, technology, and items of interest that come up during the week that allow us to have a little bit of a dialogue. I want to welcome all of you guys from New Tech and, of course, all of you here on YouTube for your guys' continued support.
We start things off from ABC 15 News in South Carolina. House GOP asked Elon Musk for records relating to Hunter Biden story censorship. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. As we have talked about for quite some time, where the mainstream media, progressives, left, and activists all gathered together on Twitter, they are concerned, of course, or they were concerned, still concerned, about the fact that Elon Musk has purchased the platform because this is their echo chamber. This is where they gathered, collected, and made sure that everyone had the same think that they did. And now the GOP, realizing that they have a little bit of a advocate in Elon Musk, are now asking for information concerning additional information, of course, that was all censored. If you haven't already, absolutely make sure you see the video I released this week from The Intercept, Truth Cops, labeled Leaked Documents Reveal DHS Plans Working with Social and Mainstream Media, how they orchestrated all of this together, to work together, as we have always said, for the last several years. Washington. Following his takeover of social media giant Twitter, Republicans have asked billionaire Elon Musk to turn over information related to Twitter's handling of the Hunter Biden laptop story. Absolutely, it was intentionally and deliberately suppressed. Just like the 2-year fabricated Russian collusion story wasn't suppressed, but they all controlled the information. The information flow was being controlled. Sounds very similar to other countries that we know of, don't we? Saying Twitter decided to limit information that may have affected the 2020 election when it pushed back or suppressed news about the laptop. Representative James Comer of Kentucky wrote in a letter that he hoped Twitter's new leadership would correct the error and provide America with transparency. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, the media comes out with these stories to get a knee-jerk reaction, and then you learn the information later. Very similar to what we are learning now with Paul Pelosi. Started off as a knee-jerk reaction, guilt by association. He was saying, "Where's Nancy?" like they said in January 6th. It's all coincidental. Well, for us who have rational, reasonable, tangible, sober minds can kind of see that we're in the midterms. It seemed like an interesting opportunity for the Democrats to point again at January 6th, because January 6th and abortion is their key topics. It is their dangling carrot that they are using for these midterms. So it should come as no surprise. So the Committee on Oversight and Reform Republicans are investigating the Biden family's pattern of influence, peddling to enrich themselves and President Biden's involvement of these schemes, so forth and so on. So they're basically just quoting from what the Republicans are saying, because ABC 15 News is probably not going to be quoting any of this information. So it's just really kind of interesting. So Comer writes in the letter that he and fellow GOP lawmakers on the committee already wrote Twitter's then CEO, Parag Agrawal, who was fired back in April, asking the social media company to preserve all documents and communications in Twitter's custody, referring or relating to the October 2020 New York Post article about Hunter Biden's laptop. Of course, the New York Post was shut down by its own media colleagues because they came out with that information. And Archibald is not going to keep that information. He may have, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Elon Musk is already digging through material, already. What he got from here, from Watch Tell Twitter, board deliberately hid the evidence from the court. Stay tuned, more to come. And we talked about this this week, just like with the video that I told you about the DHS. It's absolutely phenomenal what these people were doing. They're so emboldened, ladies and gentlemen. They're so emboldened. They have been doing this out in the open. And now, with the midterms elections here, we need to definitely jump on top of this. Get out there and vote if you're an American. I know I got many foreigners who watch this as well, so thank you guys for your continued support also, especially here on the channel. But the thing that's going to happen, November the 8th, may be shocking. Now, you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of polls because polls are not always accurate. I also know that the mainstream media, as we know already, work together. So they may be trying to lull Republicans into thinking, well, you don't need to go out and vote because, you've already got it in the bag. You've already won it. And so this is kind of just their way to be, reverse psychology, as it were, and maybe even as a dog whistle for Democrats to get out there and actually vote, or they're going to be in trouble. Their ideas, their philosophies, their worldviews may not be going through. And, of course, their biggest concern, as you always know, as we mentioned here on the channel, their influence. Because influence and popularity is the currency that they use in our culture. This is how they basically hijack our culture, is to try to get that influence, censor people they don't agree with, suspend, ban people from social media so that people cannot get their information out that doesn't fall in line with what they have to say, which obviously is very concerning, and that's about to change. That's why we see the level of desperation right now from Democrats, as of right now, because they know something big is about to happen. I like to be optimistic. I want to be cautiously optimistic. I hope, of course, that it's a giant red wave. That's what I want it to happen. However, I also have to be realistic and realize that the Democrats aren't going to just lay down and allow this to happen. They're going to continue on with what they're doing. And unfortunately, I do empathize greatly with David Pelosi. I wish him very well. I hope he recovers. I'm glad that nothing more happened to him. However, we're learning more and more about the story, and it's seeming like this was an opportunity for Democrats to take advantage of a situation and continue on with their guilt by association to suggest that this individual, who was Canadian, of course, and obviously an acquaintance, someone that he knew, or Pelosi knew, and the neighbors also knew as well. But nonetheless, guys, that's what I had for you this Friday.
All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this Friday vlog. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the comments. Below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to, where you can see my daily post, as well as the Amazon link if you guys are Prime members or order frequently from Amazon. You guys can use that link, go to the landing page, and search for what you're looking for. And of course, it helps out the channel here in 2022. Thank you for the likes, the shares, for those on New Tech, as well as here on YouTube, and appearing right there on the screen for all of you watching on YouTube. That would be the channel icon. You can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys right there behind that camera next week.